Alright, Mike from Boyer Bows here, guys and gals. What we're going to do today, I'm working on the Osage bow. And what I'm going to do is I've taken my measurements and I'm going to make the static limb portion of the bow. I'm just going to show you how I don't use a bandsaw or a saw, or I've stopped using a file, it just takes too long. I'm going to show you how I make my tips with the draw knife. It's a pretty quick process, but just so you know, I decided to go 10 inches of static limb. 8 of those inches are the limb and 2 inches are the fade on this bow. So, got my lines drawn here. Let me see how far away you guys are. Alright, so get you a nice close-up here. You should be able to see those lines now. I just take the draw knife and I try to stay above the line. And sometimes you can get it all in one, if you go nice and slow and the wood cooperates, pretty much get it all in one shot. Just clean it up. Now the danger here is if you hit a dip or you catch a weird sort of knot or something and the draw knife does a little scoop and then you get away into your wood, but for the most part, okay, that one's done. Now I'm going to flip it. Obviously you can't see this side, but you'll just have to trust me that I'm on the lines here. And dig in, get on the line, and just follow the line. This one's going to take a little more work, but there. I got it. There we go. And that took care of that. Now let's look at it from the high view here. So you see, pretty much took my line right off. I can clean it up with the rasp, and we'll be ready to go. This line's here because I'm shortening the bow down. The person who wants this bow wants to keep the bow at around 58 inches, so that's how much I have to shorten the bow in order to get it to the 58 inch mark. The fade, the wood is, the limb is, I'm not even remembering how, about 1 3/4 inch wide. I took the fade down to 1.5 inches, down to a 3/4 inch tip. I may taper that even more, but right now that's where we are. Now we got to go do that to the other limb. See you in a little bit. Alright, all I'm doing here is recurving the tips a little bit. You just saw me cut them out. It's got a little oil on the limbs, or the tips, excuse me. Applying a little heat gun to them. You see I got a nice little curve in here. I want to get it curving a little more up by the tip here. So I'm just concentrating the heat there right now. Hopefully this thing doesn't have any surprises in store for me. There we go. Sorry if I'm getting in the way of the camera here. Alright. See how that goes. Curve's a little sharp at the moment, but I'll fix that when I just sand it down. Alright, after I get these recurves, the reason I recurve, I'm going to put rawhide on the back of this, but I try to recurve or reflex the tips before I put the rawhide on in case the heat from the heat gun loosens up the glue from gluing down the rawhide. So that's the order of things. I cut the tips, then I put the bend in them, and next step, before I even start tillering, I'm going to add the rawhide to protect the bow. Alright guys and gals, I will check back with you, show you the finished result of this. Alright, so here's how the recurving came out, or reflexing. It's not actually recurve. It's got a big, obviously, the start of a recurve limb here, but when you string them up, it'll bend in such a way when the string's on it that the string doesn't touch the belly of the bow, which makes it a reflex, not a recurve. It's pretty even, which it's always a good thing. And obviously I got a lot of sanding to do and rasping and reducing. The bow is not floor tillered yet. Now I've had some questions about floor tiller. What is floor tiller? I want to back up the camera here a little bit. People still asking me this question. I thought I showed, but in any case, we'll do it again. Currently, the bow, when I put it on the ground and apply some weight to it, it's not really bending. Neither limb is really. I'm putting a significant amount of weight on that, and it's not bending. So it is not floor tillered. If it bent from my doing that, that would be called floor tillered. It has nothing to do with the final tiller of the bow when you make the limbs bend evenly without any hinges or stiff spots. All it has to do when you say floor tiller is you reduce the limbs enough. Sorry, I have a lot of breath. When you put the bow on the ground and put some weight on it, it bends. It bends, you know, a little bit, or at least a little bit. All right. So the next step for me in this is to actually clean it up a little bit and glue the rawhide down, and then I'll reduce the limbs to get them to start bending, floor tillered. Do the limbs some more to get them into tiller. And then all I have to do, once they're fully tillered at the weight I want, is to cut the handle in, make it pretty, and it's done. And we're shooting for about 55 pounds at 58 inches. And we'll see how we do. That's it. So we'll see you guys soon. Mike from Boyer Bows.